It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone, and so glad you're here with us on CCN Sunrise. You are watching our Halloween special, my favorite time of the year. Now, we're going to discuss hauntings, paranormal investigations, Halloween, and Hallelujah Night. Now, we have some extraordinary guests for us, including Erik Vanlier. Thank you, Erik, for joining us today. We also have Pastor Tony Scotti visiting from the Calvary Church out of Pasadena. So thank you both for joining us. Now, very interesting, our CCN crew member, Joseph Garcia, did some of his own paranormal investigations at a couple of locations, and you've probably never heard of these places. They have a reputation for not only being haunted, but this will tie into Halloween and Hallelujah Night. Now, we have two very different perspectives for our show today. Now, before we go any further, I would like very much to take a moment to thank our sponsors for this show, and please stay with us.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.
Well, once again, as Halloween approaches, we have about ghost stories and ghosts in the theaters, and it's sparking all kinds of sometimes controversial conversations about the afterlife and the supernatural. So our first question to both of our guests are kind of a stupid question, but do you think that ghosts are real? Do they really exist? Erik Vanlier, why don't you give us your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I definitely believe that ghosts do exist. Einstein proved that energy never dies. So when the spirit, which has been medically weighed before, leaves the body, on a metaphysical level, I'm sure that it goes to, whatever that person's belief is and how they're judged. But I also believe that some of that energy does remain.
What do you think?
Well, most of what we're discussing, and especially on and about the holiday, the popular holiday of Halloween, has to do with what we probably should characterize as supernatural evil. Mm-hmm. The supernatural world is real, and most people will admit to that, or at least a belief in the supernatural world. Supernatural evil has to do with the perspective of people being visited by departed spirits or haunted issues along that line. And people are very confused. If you ask 10 people about those issues, you're going to get 10 different answers. And that's a problem, because we need, if something is as important as the spiritual world is, the supernatural world, we need to be clear about exactly what's going on and what it is.
One of our colleagues, Joseph Garcia, also went out to a place called Gravity Hill. Now, I don't know about you gentlemen, I'd never heard of Gravity Hill before our news story today. Now, in this tour of Gravity Hill, we found, among other things, this phenomenon of a car going up the wrong direction, the possibility of the fingerprints or the handprints of a ghost or spirit. Let's try to get some help with regard to this video segment right now. Let's quickly take a look at that video.
We're here at Gravity Hill. Over here at Gravity Hill, it's said that when you put your car in neutral and are on the downward slope of the hill, which is that way, they say that your car moves by itself up the hill. Some say that the legend revolves around a group of kids who were in a bus and they were unfortunately killed in a tragic accident. So the children, spirits as they say, they will push the car up the hill to prevent those who come down the road from getting into any incident that they had suffered from before. Now, the experiment we're going to do here is we're going to be using baby powder. They say that if you use baby powder, that you will pick up handprints of the children once the deed has been done. Once your car has been pushed from the bottom of the hill to the road, they say that there are supposed to be little handprints that you'll pick up. So we're going to see if we can get that right here.
Did you feel anything?
No.
No pull or anything?
No. Like, I had it on neutral, but like, even when I just had like just a little bit of gas on it, like, I hit the brakes but I didn't come to a complete stop, just a little, it started picking back up as I started going uphill. So I'm thinking at this point, like, we don't even get any fingerprints right here, so I'm thinking with Pasadena right here, this one is more of a type of like magnetic field instead of actual like, you know, ghosts, I guess you could say.
Disproven.
Disproven.
Kind of unusual stuff, okay, but I don't know. Perhaps there is or is not some kind of scientific explanation for a car moving uphill, or the fingerprints or handprints. Eric, what do you think?
Every major city has a gravity hill. It's, you know, either, you know, like on a hill, that's why it's called Gravity Hill, or it's even on train tracks, and it usually involves children that got into some kind of fatal accident, usually a bus accident. Gravity hills, in my belief, although there may be some truth to the legend associated with the area, I believe that's basically what they are, is just legends. I mean, when you get those fingerprints on the car, you know, you're obviously going to be touching your car, lifting up the trunk or doing whatever you're doing. And
So the prints were there already.
exactly. And the gravity hill, I believe, is, in my opinion, an optical illusion. There's one in, I believe, Silmar at Lopez Canyon that we used to go to, and it's just a trick of the eye, I believe.
Well, speaking trick of the eye, I kind of subscribe to this belief, and I call it the placebo effect. And basically, I know if a doctor will give me a medication and he tells me it's going to make me better, he could just give me, you know, a sugar pill, and I'd believe it and it would get better. Analogously, in the context of ghosts and spirits, do you think some people are just inclined to believe in that sort of stuff, and as a result, they actually see or hear things because they want to?
I'm certain that that happens. A certain percentage of the time, people are suggestible under those circumstances. However, you can't eliminate the reality that there is a certain percentage of the situations that take place where people legitimately experience a supernatural situation. We live in the middle of a spiritual war, and most people are ignorant of this fact, but there is a war of good and evil going on this planet, and it's coming to a conclusion as evidenced by reports of demonic possession and exorcisms going on in our culture currently. Unfortunately, what we like to do with everything in this culture is turn it into entertainment. And so we answer to Hollywood for some of that suggestion.
Let me just say this, ghosts and spirits I can deal with. Don't bring in zombies, okay, because I totally freak out. Well, anyway, coming up right now, Cobb Estate, probably another place you have never heard about, also known as the Haunted Forest. Now CCN's Joseph Garcia takes us yet on another tour of this special location.